When I log into SAP Business One, this is what my main screen looks like. There's basically three main components. There's my message and alert overview, which has pertinent information about the business. There's my calendar, which is fully integrated with Microsoft Outlook, and then there is my main menu. Let's start with the message alert overview. Message alert overview gives me instant information from the system based on user-defined alerts and some system-defined alerts, as well as workflow approval messages. As an example, I've got late purchase orders. If I'm a buyer, I want to know which suppliers are late and for which items. I also have some marketing requests. If I'm a salesperson, I want to know which prospects are requesting information from my website. I've got customers who haven't ordered in 90 days. This is important because statistics tell us it's a lot cheaper to retain a customer than it is to find a new one. As a sales executive, this gives me a list of people that I can call and find out why they haven't placed an order from me recently. The other example here is a request for document approval. Anytime I see a gold arrow, I can drill down and get more information. In this example, this was a sales order that is put into a holding or a draft status until it can be approved. And the reason that it was automatically put into a holding status is because the discount the sales rep gave was too high. The nice thing about the approval procedures, they give me the ability to drill down and look at the document and see that it is in a pending status. I can see the discount that the sales rep gave, and then I can make my decision. Am I going to approve this? Am I not going to approve it? Do I want to come back and make a decision later? And then I can also send a message back to the sales rep who placed the request for that document. Other approvals, other procedures and notifications. Here's an example. These are my activities for today. The nice thing about SAP Business One is that if I don't finish one of these activities today, then tomorrow the system's going to nag me with that same activity to make sure that I complete my task and that nothing falls through the cracks. And then finally, I have some open AR invoices. So these are invoices where the customer has gone beyond their terms code and they are late in paying me what they owe me. And so again, anytime there's a gold arrow, I could drill down and look at more details. What makes up these alerts is in the administration menu under a section called Alerts Management. And we'll just take a look at a couple of these. Here's an example. Let's look at the overdue AR invoices. Now the nice thing about the alerts is that it can send an internal message, but I may not always be at my desk. My user ID is manager, but I may also want a text message on my cell phone. Lisa, who's hardly in the office, may want to get an email out to her Hotmail account, and Mary, again, who's at a different location, may want to receive a fax, which would be a list of all of the open AR invoices. So one alert can send up all kinds of red flags, and then you have the ability to pick and choose what's your frequency of delivery for this alert and at what time. We'll go ahead and close our message alert overview. Behind that is my calendar, and you'll also notice some color-coded appointments. This is because if we look at what we call the form settings, and we'll talk about this button in a few minutes, this gives me the ability to see other users' calendars that I have the security access to see. And as I mentioned before, my calendar is fully integrated with Microsoft Outlook. I have the ability to create an appointment in SAP and have that synchronized with Outlook, and then vice versa. Now when we talk about security a little bit, I'm logged in as a super user, so I have access to everything. But what a typical user might see, and here we'll go into the form settings again, typical user may only have access to things like maybe sales quotes, sales orders, and then some inventory. And we'll go ahead and select update. Now you can see my menu has dramatically changed, only giving me access to the things that have been granted to me. So the system is a very secure system where a user, again, will only see the things that they have access to see. And then there's other items in the administration menu that allow me to get into authorizations and control within a screen down to the field level in many cases what a user can or can't do. So again, very strong security. I'm logged in as a super user, so we'll be able to see everything. The next thing I want to do is I want to talk about these buttons going across the top of the screen, because these buttons come to life no matter where you're at in the system. To do that, I'm going to start off with a sales quote. And using my record keys up here, this allows me to scroll through my records. So for example, if I want to go to my last data record, I simply click that button. If I want to see the previous record, previous quote, I select that button, and so forth. So let's just take a look at some of these buttons. The first thing is I have the ability to do a print preview on my screen. And this shows me what my sales quotation might look like. If I were to print it out, if I were to email my quote, if I were to fax my quote, that's what it would look like. What this pencil icon does is it opens up what we call the Print Layout Designer. And the Print Layout Designer is a part of the standard SAP solution that allows you to take ownership of your own forms. So for example, I can move my logo around. I can move the quote date and time and other things in the system. I can completely rearrange my quote to meet my needs. And if I have some pre-printed forms, I can also set up my output to use those pre-printed forms that I have. I can turn barcodes on anywhere I want in the system. I can go out to the database and grab additional information. I don't have to be an IT person. So that's the nice thing about the Print Layout Designer. It's a very powerful, simple yet powerful utility that allows you to take ownership of your own forms. Other buttons in here, we talked about the print. I can go ahead and email my quote if I want to. If I answer yes, I want to email this quote. What it does is it goes into the business partner, my customer Earthshaker. It finds out who the contact is, grabs their email address, and then it attaches the quote as a PDF image. And if I hit the display button, here's a copy of the PDF of the quote that we just looked at in a print preview previously. I can fax from my desktop. I can export out to Excel, out to Microsoft Word. And we talked about the record movement keys. You can move within the database. I also have the ability to do a search. Now, one of the nice things about the SAP search is it uses the entire screen as a launch pad. I'm not limited to a locked down number of fields. So for example, if I want to find all of Earthshaker's quotes, we'll put a wildcard in here and select find. There's a list of all my customers' Earthshaker's quotes. And then I can pick and choose the quote that I want to see. New, very straightforward. I hit the new button. It allows me to put in a new quote, and the same thing applies. I have the ability to start keying in a customer name, and the system will go out there and finish it for me. Very simple data entry. The system's designed for rapid data entry, and it'll finish a lot of the information for you by simply tabbing out of the field. Other buttons in here are the base document and the target document keys. Very powerful buttons. The target document key is highlighted, and this is letting me know that something has happened after this quote. So if I click the target document button, it says, okay, Mike, that quote was turned into a sales order. If I click the target document again, it says, Mike, that sales order was then turned into a delivery. And on my delivery, I can look at the tracking number. I can also right mouse click, look at things like what serial numbers or lot numbers were sent if you have serialized or lot controlled products. I can see all of that information. Additionally, my target document is still lit, so I can click that button again, and it says, Mike, that delivery was then turned into this invoice. Again, I can right mouse click and look at any applied transactions. In this case here, I've got a cash receipt for the total amount. So the system manages all these transaction sets, and it keeps them all together. So no matter where you're at in the process, if I jump in at a shipment, I can hit the base document, and it'll walk me back to the sales order. So I can go either direction just by simply selecting my base and my target document keys. Very powerful feature. This other key is my gross profit. This lets me know if I'm making or losing any money on this particular order. And then I have volumes and weight calculations, which will help me with the truck loading, container management, those kinds of things. We talked about the pencil icon. I'm going to talk about the form settings again. I'm in a sales quote right now, a data entry screen. Now when I hit the form settings, it allows me to pick and choose which fields I would want to have displayed on my form. So in this case here, it's a quotation. But this capability works throughout the system, whether it's an item master, a quotation, a sales order, a purchase order, a production order, it doesn't matter. you'll have the ability, if you have the security to get to this button, you'll have the ability to not only pick and choose which fields are applicable to your business, but which fields are visible and which fields may not be changed by certain users. So I can turn some fields on so they can be seen, but they can't be touched. So it's, again, a very nice feature in the system. So that's a look at the icons across the top. Very straightforward, very powerful, very easy to use graphical user interface. Let's go ahead and close our quotation. The next thing I want to do is I want to talk about the modules as we go through the system. The first one would be the administration module. Now, SAP Business One is a multi-company solution. I can create a new company in just a matter of seconds. So there's no limit. It's a very scalable solution. It's also designed to do business in the global economy and supports the VAT triangulation and all the different currency rates, currency exchange rates for multiple companies. The other pieces of the administration section that are very important are things like the approval procedures. Earlier we saw an approval procedure for a discount too high. This is the actual approval procedure that kicked in. And what it happens is, in my system, if a sales quote or a sales order is put into the system and the discount is too high, it then puts that transaction on hold and it notifies accounting. And there's my user ID, and it says one user out of this group needs to approve. And what triggers this approval on the Terms tab here is a simple checkbox if the discount is greater than 10%. So this allows my users to put in quotes, to put in sales orders up to a 10% discount. Anytime they put something greater than a 10% discount, I'm going to get an instant alert, and it's going to require my electronic approval. So again, this allows me to practice fire prevention instead of firefighting. Very powerful feature of the system. Other things in here, I have the ability to import and export my data, my customers, my suppliers, my leads, my items. All of that can be imported from Excel spreadsheets. Let's go ahead and close administration. The next section is financials. SAP Business One comes with a tremendous chart of accounts. The chart of accounts you can use is based on best business practices, or we can import your existing chart of accounts. It's a multi-level chart of account that supports control accounts, statistical accounts, all kinds of accounts. We can accommodate for all kinds of financial issues. Other areas in the financial you'll find are other things that you would expect to see. The ability to do journal entries, 1099s, the ability to set up and manage budgets, cost accounting, financial reports, aging, general ledger, transaction ledgers, all the things that you would expect. Now, one of the unique things about SAP Business One is it comes with a dashboard creation tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a dashboard here that's going to give me a 360-degree view of my business. The dashboards are designed to be user-specific, so each user can have their own dashboard. And you have complete tailorability over the dashboards. You can add your own dashboards, you can change the existing dashboards, or you can create your own from scratch using a very simple tool that comes with SAP Business One called Excel Reporter. Again, part of the standard product. The dashboards are rendered in Microsoft Excel. So if you know Excel, if you're familiar with Excel, you'll have some incredible, powerful capabilities, graphing and charting, and other things that you can do to dramatically enhance your reports. Dashboards can also be automatically delivered to any user in the system. And so the user doesn't even have to log into SAP Business One to receive their dashboard. So here's an example of a dashboard for my total company. This shows me my profit and loss. This shows me my cost information. Who are my top 5 customers? What are my top 5 selling items? And if I am running this dashboard connected to the network, I also have the ability to drill down and get more details. And this is an added layer into Microsoft Excel. I'm now sitting in the tool called Excel Reporter, and this allows me to drag and drop additional information. So for example, if I select sales, one of the things that I'd really like to see is what was my gross profit. So I can simply drag and drop gross profit onto my report, hit refresh, And now I'm going to see a report of what my gross profit was in conjunction with the sales. Again, very nice, powerful tool that allows you to get your information out in a very user-friendly format. The system comes with built-in customer relationship management. I have the ability to take opportunities, to manage my opportunities very quickly and easily through user-defined stages. I have the ability to keep track of who I'm competing against, attach documents, literature that I might have sent to my prospect. I have the ability to take my opportunities and then turn them into quotes. And then, as you saw before with the base target documents, I can follow this all the way from prospecting to profitability with just a matter of a few clicks of the mouse. So again, a very powerful feature. Other things in the customer relationship management, sales opportunities area are things like my pipeline. My pipeline is built on, again, user-defined stages. Anytime I click on a stage, I can see which opportunities currently exist in that stage. I also have the ability to do what we call a dynamic opportunity analysis. And I'm going to put this in play mode. And what this does is this goes back in time and it shows me how my sales team has performed. A very powerful feature as a sales manager. I can see which sales reps are closing deals, which sales reps aren't, and then I can also see what opportunities have stalled. And at any point in time, I can point and click, drill down into that opportunity, and see what I need to do as a sales manager to push this, push this opportunity forward so we can eventually win that business. So we'll go ahead and close this. A lot of other things in sales opportunities. You'll also find additional CRM type capabilities throughout the system. There's a sales and AR area. The sales and AR module allows me to take quotes, turn those quotes into sales orders, or simply just take sales orders. I can ship products. I can handle returns or RMAs. I have the ability to do and request down payments, process down payments, and then I also have built-in point-of-sale capabilities. So for example, I can not only I can take an invoice and it will debit my inventory. I can also create the shipping documents and accept payment all at the same time in one transaction. So this is ideal for companies that might offer will call pickups or those kinds of things. There's another available point-of-sale system which is designed more for a cash register type application, and that's also available as well. So a lot of good sales capabilities in the sales and AR module. In the purchasing and AP module, I have the ability to take purchase orders, receive goods, return those back to the supplier, and then just like in sales and AR, the ability to request down payments from my customers, you have the ability to also make down payments to your suppliers if they request that from you. I have landed cost capabilities. So if I'm doing business in a global economy or a global marketplace, I have the ability to capture those landed costs and add those into my item costs appropriately. And then like all the other modules, there's a very strong section for reporting. So in this example here, I can not only see all of my open purchase orders, but I can also see all my goods receipts, and I can see all of my returns. And all this information is available with just a click of a mouse. Other good purchasing reports exist as well, and the ability to create my own reports, which we'll talk about shortly. Business partners. This is an area where anybody that you do business with is either going to be a customer, a vendor, or a lead. And a business partner, it's a very strong capability. I'm going to go ahead and let's just bring up a business partner. I'll select find and we'll grab Earthshaker Corporation. I can find out everything going on about this business partner from this one screen. Very powerful screen. I have all the tabs to manage my business partner logistics, multiple addresses, multiple contacts, all of that. But then I also have some financial information. Again, if I have the security to see these fields. So for example, if I want to look at their account balance, I can simply click and it gives me a real quick summary of all their open invoices. If I want to see this in more of a graphical format, I can see that as well. But simply click on the graph icon. I can look at their uninvoiced shipments, their orders, and then see any open sales opportunities I might have with this customer. If I right mouse click, I can take a look at everything from their dunning history and collection letters all the way to the inventory posting list, which is everything I've ever shipped this customer since this customer has been my customer. Complete history and audit trail of all that information. Now, one of the unique things about SAP Business One is this ability to capture activities. Now, I can capture activities anywhere in the system. I can be in finance, sales opportunities, sales and AR, purchasing, all the way down to human resources, production, inventory control. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I have the ability to create an activity. Now, unlike other systems, one of the nice things about SAP Business One is that not only can I create activities in different areas of the system, like from quotes, from sales orders, anywhere in the finance area, collection activities, production area. I can create all those activities. But what's unique about SAP Business One is that it takes those activities that I've created and then it also filters those down into the business partner, which gives me a single point of reference to see everything going on with a particular customer, supplier, or lead. In other ERP systems, you have to remember, where was I when I created that activity? When I created that note, was I at the sales order or was I in finance at an invoice? And you have to remember where you were in order to go back and read that note. Not in SAP Business One. That information is all filtered through to the business partner. Very powerful capability. So if we look at the business partner and click on a button here called Related Activities, this shows me all of my activities, no matter where they came from. Activities that may have even been generated out from the website, marketing requests, support activities, engineering, manufacturing related activities, all kinds of things, including attachments from email. And I'll talk about the Outlook integration shortly. So you've got a very strong activity system, note-taking system that keeps everybody on the same page. And you'll find a lot of that in the business partner section. There's a banking section where I can manage my incoming payments, my outgoing payments, deposits, all my reconciliation procedures, check printing, all of that's confined within banking. Under inventory, I have the ability to manage all of my items. I have the ability to do miscellaneous receipts and issues, transfers. I can manage an unlimited number of price lists. And then within price lists, I can set up period and volume discounts. We have a very strong foundation that can accommodate just about any kind of pricing model you would expect. We also have a very formal pick and pack process. This is an optional process that allows me to see everything that I have in stock that's available to ship. And then it allows me to release those shipments for picking, and then I can pick those shipments and then generate an actual delivery and capture the tracking number from those shipments. All the paperwork's generated. It's ideal for companies that have a warehouse or a larger distribution system that need some formal picking and packing procedures. All of those are in the core system. SAP Business One also comes with the ability to manage bill of materials, multi-level bill of materials, to do value add services, production orders, from anywhere from assembly, light manufacturing, to more complex manufacturing. Those things can all be completed within the production environment. There's an MRP system that allows me to enter forecasts, take those forecasts into the MRP. The MRP is simply nets my supply and my demand. And then based on that netting, it says, this is what you need to order and this is what you need to build. So for example, if I take a look at the output of MRP, MRP simply says, okay, these are the things that you need to produce and or these are the things that you need to purchase. And I can go ahead and review this information. I can change my quantities, I can change my dates, and if I select update, the system will automatically create for me purchase orders, and if I do have manufacturing, it'll also create the manufacturing orders for me. There's a customer service module in SAP Business One that allows me to not only take service calls and log incidents, but also keep track of service contracts. And the goal in SAP Business One is to resolve that service issue on the first call. And that's where the knowledge base comes in handy. If you have a very busy service department, the service monitor might look a lot like a heartbeat. In this case here, this shows me every second what's the number of open service calls and then what's the number of overdue service calls. So it gives me a real nice thumbprint of what's going on within my service environment. If we take a look at a service call, very straightforward. I get to capture what the subject is, why the customer's calling me, what's the origin of the call, any remarks, activities, solutions, any expenses, because we can actually capture expenses and create billings from service. SAP Business One can turn your service department into a profit center. We have a resolution and then a complete history of the service call. Who worked on it, when, and where. You'll also notice on the main page, this can be handled by an individual user, or we can set the service call to be dealt with in a queue. And you can create your own queues. And there's rules that says this service call can exist in this queue for, say, 4 hours. And then it gets bumped up to the next level. And so it ensures good customer support. There's also a human resources module. So we can manage all of your employees and keep track of telephone lists, directory lists, absentee, skills inventory. We can attach W-4s, I-9s, drug tests, resumes. All of those things can be dealt with within human resources. And then finally at the bottom there's a summary of all my reports. Now I want to talk about reporting for a minute. When I was in purchasing, I ran an open item list. So there's a lot of canned reports within SAP Business One. We also ran a dashboard. There's a lot of dashboard reports. But there's actually 2 other report writers you can use. And I'll give you an example. To do this, I'm going to go into a business partner. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring up Earthshaker Corporation. So we'll select the Find button here, and we'll select Earthshaker Corp. This is a train of thought reporting. It's called drag and relate, and this is patented functionality. So for example, I want to go ahead and I want to see, show me all of my sales orders for Earthshaker. So I can simply click and I can drag Earthshaker off my screen and I can drop it on sales orders. And there's an instant report of all of Earthshaker's sales orders. Now I want to see, show me all of the items Earthshaker is buying. So I'm going to drop this on sales order details. And there's all of the parts that Earthshaker has purchased from me. I might also want to find out who else is buying this printer. And so I can drop this on sales order. And I can see that I've got another customer also interested in the same printer. And so you get the idea. And I can continue this process on and on and on, getting as much information as I need. Now in this example here with parameter technology, I want to see what else does parameter technology buy from me, and then I want to switch gears. Do I have any purchase orders for this part? And I can drop that on purchase order, and I've got 4 purchase orders, 3 closed, 1 open with Acme Associates. Again, what are the items that I buy from Acme Associates? And there's all the parts I buy from that supplier. So what you've seen me do in a matter of just a few seconds is very quickly drag and drop information onto my drag and relate screen, and it gives me related reports based on that information that I want to see. A very quick and simple yet powerful way to record and mine your database. The other way to create reports in the system is a very simple approach. It's called the query generator. And so for example, I'm going to click in the query generator. I'm going to hit my tab key, sort by description, and what I want to do is I want to grab a sales. I'm going to grab some sales order reports. I'm going to create a sales order report. So I'm going to select my sales order header table, and I want to select my sales order row. So I'm actually selecting 2 tables in the database, and I'm going to select choose. The system automatically joined those tables for me, so I don't have to be an IT expert in order to create my own reports. And what I want to see is I want to see the sales order number. I want to see the customer's code, the customer's name. I might want to see things like, oh, what have they paid me to date, and any other information. I just point and click, and I can see that. If I change tables and go to the row level, I want to see the items that they're purchasing from me, the description of the items, the quantities, the delivery dates, and then maybe what's the total amount on that row. And when I hit execute, there's my report, just like that. The reports are also built in with graphing capability, so I can graph this information as well. Now this report never existed a second ago. If I like this report, I can save it. I can put it in any category I want. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in my sales category, and I'm going to memorize this report as Mike's sales report. And it's as simple as that. At any point in time, I can come back into my query manager, and I can select my categories and run my memorized reports. So it's very easy to mine the database. The last thing I'll touch on is the Outlook interface. Again, part of the standard product. If I'm at a trade show or on the road or something of that sort, one of the neat things about this Outlook interface is that I have the ability to actually take quotes from Microsoft Outlook. I don't have to have Microsoft Exchange, just the Outlook client. And if I select customers here, here's a list of all my customers. So I can actually take a quote while on the road, very simply, very easily. We'll go ahead and cancel out of that. Other areas of integration have to do with my contacts. I'm going to go ahead and click on Earthshaker Corporation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this file here, and I want to go ahead and I want to create a snapshot. Maybe I'm going to go out to my customer or out to my supplier. And so at this point, what I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and I want to synchronize my customer with SAP Business One. So I'm going to go ahead and say synchronize this and create a snapshot for me. What it's doing is it's going out into Business One and it's grabbing all of the information for my customer, and then it's putting it together in the spreadsheet for me. So if I take a look at this spreadsheet, now I can see all of that data, and I can take that with me as I go out to my customer or out to my supplier. And this contains everything about their account balance with me, all of my activities with this customer, all of their invoices, everything I've ever shipped them, all their equipment cards, if we're tracking lot and serial numbers of things that we've shipped them, all of their open opportunities, their orders, all the products that they have, all the quotations and returns, service calls, and the list just goes on and on and on. So it's a very powerful tool that gives me the ability to take with me everything going on about that customer or about that supplier. Very nice feature. One of the other options that we have in the Outlook integration, I'm going to go ahead and switch to mail here, is let's say that I might have an email and that I want to save this as an activity in SAP Business One. Now here's a shipping notification, and I want to go ahead and I want to save this shipping notification to my customer's record or to a sales order from my customer, whatever it might be. So again, I can go ahead and I can save this email as an activity. And what it's going to do is it's going to ask me, Mike, what customer do you want to save this email as an activity for? And I want to go ahead and select Earthshaker Corporation and then save email, and it's done. That quick and that easy. So when I go into my business partners, and we'll go ahead and bring up Earthshaker. Let's do a quick search. Oops, wrong number. Let's just key in Earthshaker here. Hit find. That's the one I want. If I look at related activities and I scroll down to the bottom of the list, there's my click and ship notification, saved as an activity directly to my customer right from my email system. So the Outlook integration to SAP Business One is phenomenal. That concludes the overview demonstration of SAP Business One. Thanks for watching.